Good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are. Rochelle from Dreaming English, and I am going live to talk with you about what we think the best ways of learning English are. So I'm hoping this will be interactive. Please put comments in where you're from and questions or what you think are the best ways of learning English. Hello to, I'm not sure how you say your name, Bignesh, Vicky. Vicky. So last time I went live, I started out by reading some comments. I wasn't sure how many people would come, and I read comments, and I had a lot of people. So I'm hoping more people will join, and we'll talk about what are the best ways to learn English. Now, I'm a native speaker, so obviously I'm not learning English, but I can tell you my experience in learning Spanish and what worked for me. But one of the things that I find in learning another language is doing things that you enjoy in that language. So if you enjoy playing video games, then play video games in English. If you enjoy watching sports, watch sports in English, and so on. Just basically the idea would be to immerse yourself in the language. So what I found the best way is listening, and that's the whole idea of immersing yourself in the language and listening to the language in things that are understandable, right? So try not to go into things that are super hard at first. You want to watch things and listen to things that are easier, and that's the whole idea of comprehensible input method, is to immerse yourself into things that, and listen to things that are easy to understand. Now, this live would be probably more advanced because I'm a little nervous, so I'm going to talk a little bit faster. This is my second time going live, and so I'm probably talking faster than I normally do when I record videos that I can edit later if I made a mistake. And yes, native speakers do make mistakes when they speak. It's just part of speaking. We're going to make mistakes because we're thinking in our head of what we're going to say, and we're going to make mistakes. So, and when we are nervous, it's likely that we will probably make mistakes, right? So that is very common. So I would love it if you would put in questions you have. If you have ideas of what you think are the best ways, what have you found most helpful in your journey to learn English? Do you use Duolingo? I use Duolingo to learn Spanish, and it was helpful to me to learn Spanish because I had already learned Spanish and I had a background in Spanish. But I'll tell you, I tried to use Duolingo to learn other languages that I have no background in, and I find it very difficult to get past the very basic lessons. Especially now, Duolingo kind of changed it, that if you keep on answering questions wrong, then you end up losing your lives or your hearts, and you have to start again. So that's hard for me. So I think if you have some experience and some knowledge in the language, then Duolingo can be helpful. I like how they have different things, like sometimes they have pictures and sometimes they have a repeat for some sort of pronunciation, and then they have fill in the blanks and matching. So I think that's helpful, but I wouldn't say that Duolingo alone is what you need to learn the language. I have someone, Mamusa. I'm sorry if I say anybody's name wrong, but if you can say, I'm going to say, hello, Moussa. Please let me know where you're from in the chat. And the topic this morning or this evening, wherever you are, or this afternoon, is what are the best ways to learn English, or best ways to learn language? Because for me, like I said, I am a native English speaker, so I'm not really learning English. Although I'll tell you, there's probably new words every day that I have not heard of. But I'm learning Spanish. So what are the best ways that you found to learn English? I would say, if you, like I said, do things that you enjoy. If you enjoy yoga, if you enjoy music, listen to music in English. If you enjoy yoga, watch YouTube videos in English and yoga. Now, I don't think they really do a lot of talking, but sometimes they'll tell you how to change, your position. So there might be some talking, but do things that you enjoy. My kids enjoy video games, so if they were learning another language, I would say it's for them to, try to play those games in that language. So let's see. And the idea would be really to immerse yourself. I think the best way is to try to like immerse yourself, like change your phone into your language. I did that before though in Spanish, and then I didn't understand everything. So it could be a problem if you're not at an intermediate or advanced level to change your phone into that language, because then you have a problem with it. So if you are getting more to the intermediate or advanced, you might want to change your phone's operating or the whole like language into that language, and basically immerse yourself. But another thing you can do is if you're on Facebook, change Facebook into instead of changing your whole phone, but to change just Facebook into that language, which again is English, right? We're talking about learning English. For me, it's learning Spanish. And I did have a little bit of problem when I turned my whole phone into Spanish because I didn't understand all the settings. So instead, I decided just to change Facebook into Spanish. So I would say, changing things, watching news in Spanish, listening to news. I would say watch and listen, because you can see the people's lips move. You can see their hand gestures. Language is more than just words. It's a whole, it's our body language. It's our facial expression. So you really want to be watching and listening. So if you're watching YouTube, I would look for a YouTube where you can actually see people's face and watch their lips move. Because if you're just watching pictures, like if you like travel and you're just watching a lot of stuff with travel and you don't see the people speaking, you're not going to learn as much. So like for me, like I said, I'm learning Spanish. So I watch somebody, his name is Lucito Comitica, and he is from Mexico and he travels all over the world. So I love to watch him, and I'm always usually seeing his face. So I can watch his lips move, and I can turn on the subtitles, which help. So let's see. Hello, Talking American. Hello, Rocky. I'm going to say hello, Talking America. If I can spell America and Rocky. Okay, so Talking America, thank you for joining. The topic is the best ways to learn English. And if you want to put some things in the comment, Talking America is a great YouTube channel to learn English. So I suggest that you all follow his channel as well. We've been communicating and supporting each other for the last couple of years since I started on YouTube. So definitely check out Talking America's station or channel. I guess they're channels on YouTube, not stations. So the topic is, what are the best ways of learning and watching movies? Rocky says, like watching movies. I was just watching, I watched Harry Potter with my daughter. So like things that you really enjoy, definitely watching movies is a great idea. You can put on the subtitles, that will help. So you can read along and that'll help enforce the language. I think movies are great. Television series are even better because they're going to have more dialogue. But if you like movies, definitely. And if you have a favorite movie, put it in the chat. I was just thinking some of my favorite movies are from the 80s, because that's like when I was kind of like, close to a teenager, kind of dating myself. But those were my favorite movies. Like I loved Footloose. Footloose was a dancing movie. That was one of my favorite movies. What is it? Star Dogs movie. No, War Dogs. Sorry, War Dogs movie. Okay, I haven't seen that one. I love Star Wars. I thought at first you were saying Star Wars. Star Wars is like the original first three. I don't really like the newer ones very much. I really wanted them to make new movies, but now I kind of regret that they did because I feel like they ruined it. But if you are a Star Wars fan, let me know. Saw War Dogs. Oh, sorry. It's small, the writing's small. War Dogs. So War Dogs, that sounds interesting. I think reading is great for learning words, phrases, and the language you use. And I do agree. Talking America, reading is great. One thing I would suggest is being able to read where you can listen. Like if you have a Kindle where you can get books and you can have even the computer computer voice read the books to you, so you can hear the correct pronunciation. Because like I'll tell you, I was doing that in Spanish and I was reading aloud and my pronunciation wasn't great. So I would say definitely if you can read and listen to the pronunciation, that's great. and 1 or 2 conversations in that language each week. That's an awesome idea too. Talking America and I, we met on an app called Hello Talk, and it's free. And you can find language partners from all over the world. Like one of my language partners for Spanish is Gustavo from Venezuela. And we end up talking. We send voice messages to each other all the time. So I can listen to his messages in Spanish. He can listen to my messages in English. And one of the great things about Hello Talk is that if you are not sure that you understand that voice message, it will translate it for you. It'll put an audio of it and you can translate it. So that's pretty cool. Okay. So, and WhatsApp, I use, translator in WhatsApp. I didn't know that WhatsApp had translator. Thank you, Rocky. You learn a new thing every day. So translator in WhatsApp, that's awesome. Because the thing about Hello Talk, it's an awesome way to find people that want to learn another language, but they only allow you to put 60-second messages, which should be all you put. But one thing that Gustavo Alfonso, he likes to talk, and sometimes he'll leave me a really long message. So he would always say, oh, that 60-second rule on Hello Talk. So we eventually moved to WhatsApp to kind of communicate because of that 60-second rule. All right, so I have a friend in Bolivian friend. Okay, Bolivian friend. So that's a Spanish-speaking country, Bolivia in South America. Let me see if I know my geography. Do I remember? It's South America, not Central. That's awesome. Do you practice English or Spanish with that person in Bolivia? Rocky. And how did you meet your Bolivian friend? I met friends through Hello Talk. I've also met friends through a program called Pen Pal World. I actually met somebody in Mexico and practiced with her. We practiced on Facebook Messenger video, and that was a great way. Moisa says, when I speak English, my mind goes blank. That happens to me in Spanish all the time too. So I think one of the things is that you really have to listen more until your mind will start thinking of that language naturally. Because when you say your mind's going blank, it's just because you haven't developed enough of an ear where it's going to come out natural. Let's see. And Talking America, excuse me. I started making YouTube videos and share English because I want to have more than 1 minute conversation. So that's a great point. I think, YouTube is I love YouTube. I got into YouTube 2 years ago because my daughter, who's 11, she wanted to be a YouTuber. And I asked her if she'd come out and say hello, but she doesn't want to. And I did not want to be on camera. And here I am live on camera and making videos, posting them at least twice a week. But I think YouTube is great. You can learn so much on YouTube. And because of this, so this is my part-time thing doing YouTube. I'll just share this briefly. My boss knows that I work in a high school and knows that I'm doing this YouTube thing and asked me to do a YouTube camp for our high school students. So I'm starting that on Monday. I'm excited about that. So tell something about new Lambda variant. Lambda variant. I don't know. Is that something to do with coronavirus? I don't know. I haven't heard of that. What is the Lambda variant? I don't know what is Lambda variant. What does that mean, Rocky? Because I'm not sure what you mean. When I hear variant, I'm thinking like virus, that my mind just goes to the virus. And I don't really want to talk about the coronavirus, but that's scary. Is that a new one? Okay, well, that's scary. So hopefully that's, just stay safe. I say wear your mask all the time. Stay safe. Stay 6 feet away from people. Stay safe. But enough about the coronavirus today. I don't know about the Lambda variant. We're just hearing about the Delta variant, which has been out, and that's kind of concerning. But let's go on and back to, we can have another topic where we talk about coronavirus. That could be another topic. But today, the topic is, what are the best ways to learn English? That's fine, Rocky. No worries. I know like things happen and you find out about something new and you want to talk about it. I don't really know much about that. I haven't heard about it. So any case, Talking America, one good tip to prevent going blank, practice a few common things to talk about, like learn how to describe your job, your family. I think that's an awesome idea. Like one of the things that I do in Spanish is that I will kind of like at the end of the day kind of try to kind of talk to myself in Spanish and say what happened to my day. And if I don't know those words, I'll look them up and I'll write them, because I think we learn in many ways. There was a whole video I just watched from Potassium, which says the whole learning thing of learning visual or audio is not really true. But I think kind of reinforcing things with visual, reinforcing things with audio, reinforcing things with writing really helps. So basically, like if you are going to describe your day, describe your job, describe your family, describe it, say it aloud. Write it down as well, like have a little journal and actually write, not just type, because writing I think really helps cement it. It's a whole kinesthetic. Let's see, audio listening. Sometimes I'll put it into Google Translate and I'll listen to the Google robotic voice, at least pronounce it correctly. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name right. Vignesh says, hello, ma'am, after long having some kinds of doubts while I'm speaking and writing. You know, yes, when you first start speaking and writing, you're going to make mistakes. And I think one of the things that you can do is to just listen more first before you start speaking or writing as much. So that way you can get an idea for the language. And I don't teach grammar. I kind of feel like learning how the language sounds and the patterns is going to help you more. So I'm not sure how long you've been learning Vignet. I'm not sure if I'm saying your name correctly, but by listening more, you're going to develop an ear for the language and you won't make as many mistakes. But I feel like your last comment was much better than I've seen you put a lot of comments on, and that was much more understandable. So I think you're improving. Talking America says mistakes are okay. Everyone makes mistakes. And one of the quotes that I love is Edison, who invented the light bulb. He said he found 1,000 ways that the light bulb didn't work, like whatever that filament was. Oh no, 10,000. He said there weren't 10,000 mistakes. He just found 10,000 things that didn't work. And I love that. I actually have that up as a quote that I have in my classroom and in my house. So Talking America also says, I am a native English speaker and I make mistakes. And that's absolutely true. I started out when I started out talking to all of you, I said, when we speak aloud, native speakers, we make mistakes. You're going to hear me make a mistake. You're going to hear news anchors that have very, very good English and very good speaking skills. You're going to hear them make mistakes. Unless you are reading from a script, you're going to make mistakes. And the only time when you probably won't see mistakes from me is when I've typed something and I used a lovely program called Grammarly. Every email that I send out, everything I check Grammarly, and it will show me, oh, you made this mistake, and I'll learn from it because I'll read what it should be. Now let's see. Vinette, thank you for your suggestion. And Rocky says, follow Abdul Kalam's dreams. Is that a YouTube channel to learn? I'm not sure, but thank you for sharing that. Let me just take a drink of water because this is a lot of talking. I said last time that I did a live, I understand how teachers, now I work in a school, but I'm not a teacher, I'm kind of a counselor. So I don't talk all day, but teachers that talk for 7 hours a day, okay, I'm not sure how they keep up with that, because just talking nonstop for 18 minutes is like, wow. And sorry if I'm talking a little fast. It's my second time live, and as we get nervous, sometimes we talk fast. If you catch any mistakes that I made, put them in the comments, because native speakers, as Talking America said, native speakers do make mistakes. Antonio from Spain. Good morning, Antonio. Hello, Antonio. Antonio. Thank you for joining us. From Spain, I do have some people that I practice with in Spain and would love to go there someday. That was where I was going to go. I was going to go there in December 2020, but then we had the coronavirus. So someday when Americans are allowed to go to Spain again and it's safe, I definitely would love to go there. Okay, I've got to breathe. All right. Oh, okay. Is India. This person is India's former president. Okay, thank you. I didn't know that. I'm learning more and more about India. I have a lot of people that follow me from India, and I've had a lot of conversations. And I'm learning more and more things about India. Like Did you know, everyone that's not from India, that they only have one time zone? If I'm not correct on that, let me know in the comments. But the United States, we have like 5 time zones, and I thought there must be more than one time zone in that huge country like India, but apparently there's one time zone. And other things I learned that there are many, at least, I don't know, a few languages in India. Let's see, comm skills development. Hello, your accent is neutral. I do know it is good for all. Thank you. So my accent is neutral. I usually say hello from Boston, but I'm not really from Boston. I'm 1 hour away from Boston, Massachusetts, because Boston, I would say, park the car and have a yard, because they would not say their R's. And so I am from the middle part of the state. And yes, my accent, I'm glad it is neutral, because it's very helpful for people to be able to learn the language with a neutral accent. So thank you, comm skills. And Melissa says, I am lazy at reading. What can I do to be good at it? Well, you know what I do? Like, I think sometimes that can be the case for people. I'm a slow reader myself. I go onto YouTube and I look for Harry Potter audible book, and I will put on the subtitles and read along and listen. So, or just listen to audiobooks. I don't know. I don't like sitting. I'm not sure if that's your problem. I hate sitting. I'm not somebody that can sit still very long. So, or let's see, we have Rocky says something, another person from India, talking America. Try to read something you're interested in, short. That's a good idea. Short, like news articles. Or if you like video games, read something about that, whatever. Try to find short things about things you're interested in. That's an awesome thing. And comm skills. Exactly. I'm an Indian. I train all to learn a common accent. So that's awesome. To try to like train to kind of have more of a neutral accent. It's difficult, I'll tell you. In America, we have people from all over the world, and to lose their accent, they would really have had to, not 100%, but they would have to have moved here before the age of 10. Now, I know people from Colombia that moved here at 18 years old, and they've been here for 30 years, and they still have an accent. That's okay. And you know what? I love accents, actually, accents of people from all over the world. But it is possible, obviously, to lose your accent. For instance, Gwyneth Paltrow, one of my favorite actresses, she obviously is from the United States and plays a very convincing person from Britain. Let me see. I have a dual that's saying, great job, lovely video, incredibly amazing. Thank you. And then talking, America says, if you like dogs, read about dogs. That's a good tip. All right, Rocky, I'm following your channel. Thank you, Rocky. I always see you putting comments. Thank you so much. So thank you so much. The topic today is what is the topic today? Is the best ways to learn English. So I'm not a total expert on this. If you have suggestions of what works best for you, let me know what's the best way that you found to learn English. I'm going to tell you the best way that I found to learn Spanish, because I am a native English speaker. Okay, let's see. We have Vinette. Some words I am not able to say. You know what to do with that? Google Translate. Type them into Google Translate and press the button to make it speak to you, and listen, and it'll also speak it slower. So I'll do that with Spanish words that I can't pronounce. That will be helpful to kind of learn how to pronounce words. Let's see. So other ways, like, you know, what I will do, if you have a Kindle, you can also, if you get some audiobooks, you can have the little computer voice read to you so you can read along. That's a pretty cool way. But if you don't have a Kindle, YouTube has a ton of audiobooks, or just news in English. If there's a travel station that you like, put it on and put on the closed caption. You'll be able to read along. Aragon, I think it's Aragon, but I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it. Hello, how are you? I want to pronounce it Aragon, like in Lord of the Rings, but I don't know if that's correct. How are you? Where are you from, Aragon? And then Rocky says, we are reading English with my kindergartner, but I cannot speak it for 5 minutes. Well, that's, I mean, a good idea, like Talking America says, is to read stuff that is at, you know, shorter stuff. Kindergarten books, yes, I would say get things that you like. I have 2 children, and I really enjoyed it when I could read them fun books that were not see the dog run kind of thing. That's very boring. So there's tons of great children books, Dr. Seuss books, Richard Scarry books that I could suggest. ComSkills Development says learning English through environment. Many times we don't have any experts who can guide us, so it is better to learn from environment. It means some resources like books, magazines, audio tracks, movies. Exactly. Now, back when I was in college, to learn another language, really, outside of taking classes in college or going to get CDs or tapes, you would have to travel to that country. Like I went to Costa Rica, but now you have your phone that you can have a whole bunch of things where you can listen, you can read along and see the actual text and read and listen to it. You can watch news. You can kind of immerse yourself in the language and in your environment without necessarily going to that country. Because I'm not sure where ComSkills Development, where you're from. Here in the United States, where Talking America and I are from, we have people from all over the world. So if I want to speak Spanish with somebody, I don't necessarily have to do it online. I can just go to my work, and there is Zolchi from Panama that I can speak Spanish. How's my Spanish going? I'm watching movies. How is your Spanish? Oh, my Spanish is going pretty good. I can understand advanced Spanish if I'm reading the subtitles and listening and watching very intently. I can watch series. I can watch Lucito Comunica and understand him. However, if there's a whole conversation, like I'll watch like interviews, I can't understand that when there's a lot of people speaking. It's hard for me. Let's see what else you're saying, that you enjoy watching series in English. Do you watch movies? Yes, I watch movies. I watch series in Spanish. I watch movies, like one of my favorite movies that's kind of sad was Como Agua de Chocolate, I think it is. Very sad, but I do love watching series. There's a new one that's it's almost like a Superman guy, but it's a series. I think it's El Vicino. It's a series on Netflix, and I love that because it's funny. I love funny stuff, and I find a lot of Spanish stuff to be very serious, at least what they have on Netflix. Vignette says, audiobooks may be helpful for learning English. Yes, audiobooks are definitely helpful. El Facino, yes, I love El Facino. I think it's super funny, and they just released the second season, because I was watching the first season over and over again. Como Agua de Chocolate. Yes, and I tried to read that book, but I did watch it many times. It's just so sad. It's a very, very good movie, but it's kind of sad. Money Heist. I did like Money Heist, but I don't like violence, so it got a bit violent. I think the first 2 episodes were okay, but then it was a little too violent for me. ComSkills Development says, I would reach you after. Thank you so much for taking part, ComSkills. I guess you have to leave, but thank you for taking part. Yeah, so Money Heist, I did like that. It's just a little too violent for me. There actually is a really good, Duolingo has a podcast, and it was called El Robo del Centre, and it was about this whole really cool, I guess, or really interesting bank robbery. And what I like about that, if you're learning English and you are a native Spanish speaker, you can listen to it because they'll have both the director and they'll have the native Spanish speakers in the series. So you'll hear a little bit of both languages, but it's not just like the native English speaker is just adding context. She's not totally translating. So I think if you are learning English, you could listen to Duolingo podcasts that are for learning Spanish, because they're both in English and Spanish. And I love those. You learn about some really cool people all around the world, but they had a series called El Robo del Centre, and I've listened to it a few times. It's kind of like Money Heist, but the difference is that I think for me, I don't like seeing the visual of the violence in Money Heist. While listening to El Robo del Centre, you're just listening to it, and there wasn't too much violence in that. Let's see. Is it possible to bank? Is it possible to bank America Bank? I'm not sure what, is that a movie, or is that, I'm not sure what your question is, Rocky. So let's see. We're talking about movies and series. I think for series to watch in English to learn, Friends, I'm told people really love to watch Friends to learn English. What else? I would say The Office, maybe. I like The Office. There's so many good, I like comedy. So there's so many really funny comedies that are available in English. I think for Spanish, there was not as many for me to learn Spanish. But if you're learning English and talking American, maybe you could, I'm not sure if you watch a lot of television. I'm trying to think of all the television. I watched a lot of television as a kid. Robbery. He says American robbery. I think there's probably some movies about American robbery. There's one with the guy that used to be in Cheers. He made this bank robber movie. You don't watch TV in English. Yeah, I don't watch TV in English anymore because I'm trying to learn Spanish, but I did watch a lot of TV. I watched Friends, Seinfeld, Cheers. Let's see what other television shows. I watched a ton of television shows as a kid. Maui English, thank you for joining. I do anything to improve my English. So yeah, thank you. What do you do to improve your English? Let me know in the comments, because today we're talking about the best ways to improve your English. Vinesh says, which kind of audiobooks? I think, Vinesh, that you're kind of maybe at a more beginner level, so you want to look for things, and I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to look up what would be the best audiobooks for beginner level. I would definitely not start with something that is like a big long chapter book. I tried to read Harry Potter in Spanish and it took me a few years. So I would look for things that are more at a lower level, and I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure. Maybe Talking America could suggest some. Let's see. Antonio says, I am speaking English in Hello Talk with a lot of people. British America, look me up. I'm Dreaming English in Hello Talk, so look me up there. I talk to people from India, Philippines, Australians. There are many different accents, and it's difficult. Yes, there are many different accents. Even, I'll tell you, the most difficult for me to understand would be people from Wales. I go to a place where we have people from all over the world that work there. I go there once a year, and we have people from Scotland and from Australia. They like to hire a lot of people from English-speaking countries because it's a camp. And the hardest accent was people from Wales. Hello, English Finglish. Thank you for joining. I've actually done a few videos with English Finglish, and he's got an awesome YouTube channel. If you like to watch conversation videos, definitely follow his channel. Maui English says, listening to podcasts is my favorite. That's an awesome thing. I do that all the time because you can listen while you're walking. You can listen while you're cleaning your house. Thank you. I'm doing really good, English Finglish. I'm having a great day. Thank you for joining. And let's see. Maui English says, I don't care about my mistakes. That's, you know what? Just as Talking America said earlier, we learn from our mistakes. So, and as I said, remember Edison, he had 999 different ways, 9,999 different ways that didn't work for that light bulb. They were not mistakes. They were just things that didn't work. So keep going. Talking America says, if you can find a book, an audiobook in English, but if you can find one, but if you have already read a book in your language, that's a good idea. So if you read a book in your language, then try to read that one. And that's why I tried with Harry Potter, but that was a bit much at first. So I moved to Dr. Seuss. I love Dr. Seuss. And he has like the book, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, or The Lorax. And I found that they have them in Spanish. So if there's a book that you have read in your language, try to find that book in English. Maui English says, to me, accent is number 100%, 100. Having a good conversation is more important. Is number 100. Okay, sorry. To me, accent is number 100. Having a good conversation is more important. I agree with that. Being able to have people understand you is most important. If you have an accent, that's fine. I was saying earlier that I actually like accents. I love the Spanish accent. I love the Indian accent. I love the Australian accent, but they're speaking English. I love accents. I think it makes the language sound more interesting. So trying to lose your accent, it's not necessary. It's fine as long as I can understand you, right? English Finglish says, I prefer listening to audiobooks. It is the best method to improve listening skills. I agree with you, English Finglish. I listen to audiobooks all the time when I'm not listening to podcasts. However, if I'm sitting at my computer, I'll try to watch videos because I can also kind of like read along. I can put the subtitles on and read along. And if I can watch a video where I can see somebody speaking, I think we learn from watching people's lips. That's why when I make my videos, I found it like I do the videos where I'm drawing, but I make it so you can see me and I have a camera looking down. So I think it's really important for you to learn by seeing people's lips and seeing their hands move. Talking America says, if you speak Spanish and want to learn English, check out a Super Holly YouTuber. Yes, I follow her. She's awesome. Super Holly, I think she's American, but she grew up in Mexico, and she's completely like, if she speaks Spanish, perfect. But then she can speak in English without any accent. It's awesome. She posts videos in both English and Spanish, or Spanish and English. Yes, and if you are trying to learn Spanish, there's like Spanish Land School, Dreaming Spanish, which is where I got the idea for Dreaming English. He does the Comprehensible Input method. He speaks all Spanish. But let's see. Maui English says, everyone has their own lovely accent. I agree. And so really like the best way of learning English is what works for you. Like the whole discussion is like, what works for you? And share. I would love to have everyone share what works best for them. But really the best way to learn English is what actually works for you. I'll tell you, learning Spanish, grammar was not working for me. So that's why I moved on to what's called comprehensible input, where it is like listening and watching things that are easy to understand, and then progressing from there and just building up so that I've been listening and listening for more and more hours. Now let's see. All right, so we have down, Maui says, everyone, I read that. And so Rocky says, I listen to songs before sleeping. Sometimes I don't understand what they're singing. Listening before sleeping is great because there's some science that says that your mind is like going to make better connections to some things that you listen before you sleep. I also listen to Spanish while I'm sleeping. I probably is affecting my sleep, but I end up dreaming in Spanish sometimes because I listen to it. Not sure if it might be like affecting my sleeping. So I'm not sure I would suggest it, but I'm a little crazy about that sometimes. My daughter thinks I am anyway. Let's see. Maui English says, Rocky, keep listening no matter how many words that you can catch on. So like keep listening because eventually you're going to catch on to those words. And try to listen to the songs the next day on YouTube and see if you can put in the subtitles, if you can find them. That might help as well. What else? Like, I think one thing that I have been listening to, which could be helpful to learning English, is something called language transfer. It's free. You can find it on YouTube. You can find an app, and they have this person. I think he is from Turkey, but he has developed language learning lessons for English, Spanish to English, English to Spanish, English to Italian, English to Turkish, English to Greek, and so on. And it's got both English and Spanish. And one thing I find really interesting about his is he's kind of like trying to help you break down the language and break down the patterns, but he also will tell you some interesting things. Like, I'm not sure if you knew, but English is kind of a mix of German and Latin-based words with some Greek words mixed in there, sprinkled in, right? So it's good to kind of learn those patterns, and you can kind of break down other languages. Like for Spanish, there are thousands and thousands of words that came out of Latin. Okay, good morning or good afternoon, Realty. Could you organize Zoom meetings? I might do that eventually. I'm not sure. So this whole thing for doing YouTube is a part-time thing for me. I work full-time. So it might be in the future I might do some Zoom meetings, maybe occasionally, because my full-time job has to take priority. over doing this. This is just a fun thing for me. So that might come down the road, and it might be an occasional thing that I could do some Zoom meetings. But thank you for the suggestion. I'm just going to take a sip of water. All right, so hey T, Cosmic Channel, or there are lots of other channels that do organize Zoom meetings. So thank you for that suggestion. Cosmic Channel organizes them. So there you go. There's a place that you can find some Zoom meetings. I see them all the time anyway. If you're in different groups, like on WhatsApp, there's lots of different Zoom meetings being organized. So you can definitely find them if you are looking for those. And like I said, it might be something down the road. I'm not sure. Right now, I'm just starting out to just go live. I was a little nervous about going live at first, but here I am, and I'm talking really fast and talking a lot. But that's my next step, was to go live, which I had somebody I did a YouTube video with, Asif from India, said, go live, Rochelle. And I think it took me another 3 months after he said to go live to do it, because there's no edit. I can't edit out any of my mistakes. All right. I love to drink tea. Okay. I like tea as well. And I love coffee. Actually, coffee I love more. Here's my coffee. So if you like coffee or tea, let me know. But more important than that, what's the best way that you found for learning English? Oh, it's a song. Is that a song? Okay. I'm not sure. All right, if you learn English from listening to songs, listening to music, I know English Finglish said he likes to listen to audiobooks, movies, TV shows, reading. Talking America said reading. I think reading is great, but I think if you haven't developed your pronunciation, it's best to kind of listen to books. Maybe the addition of listening and being able to read along would be more helpful. All right, so I'm not sure. Maui, okay, it's a band. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm not, like, I don't know all the modern music. I listen to stuff from the 80s. Let's see. Northeast. Okay, so anyway, things that you find that are helpful for learning English, let me know. If you have some more comments, some more questions, what works for you, because like I said, the discussion, the topic was the best ways of learning English. But there isn't any number one way to learn English. There's lots of different ways. How's my daughter? She's doing pretty good. I asked her if she would say hello for this, but she didn't want to. She's getting close to being a teenager. So this was her idea to start this YouTube channel, but now it's mostly just me and her occasionally taking part in a video. So I guess that's what happens when your children start to almost be teenagers. But she's doing well. She's actually going to sleepaway camp on tomorrow. We're bringing her to sleepaway camp for 2 weeks. I watch documentary films. Yes, I love documentary films. That's a great idea. Do you have any YouTube channels that you recommend? Let me know. Yes, where's your daughter? Where's your daughter? Catch her to, I can try to get her to, but I don't want to shout right now. But maybe she'll come in the next one after her sleepaway camp, because I think she might be sleeping. I asked her if she would take part in this. Thank you for your videos. May be helpful. It's helpful to learn English. And that was the whole idea. When my daughter wanted to have a YouTube channel, I said we could do it as long as it was educational. And we were learning Spanish, so we were watching Dreaming Spanish. And she likes art. So Dreaming Spanish draws pictures as he is telling a story. So the idea was to kind of do a similar channel to that. And I actually reached out to Pablo from Dreaming Spanish and got a lot of tips from him. So she was able to do the drawing, which she loves. And that was the whole idea of it. So American and Japanese are always busy, always busy. Well, one Japanese, she loves anime. Japanese, that was like one of her things now, is to draw anime. And she's actually very good at that. So, and I will see if she'll come in the next video that we do the live stream, but she's getting to be kind of a teenager here. So, yeah, like I said, there is no one best way. For me, learning by grammar doesn't work for me, but it might work for other people. Documentary, real stories. Is that the, okay, that's the YouTube channel that you're saying? DW documentary. I'll check that out. Hey, Rocky, where can I find Cosmic Channel? Can you want to type in the, or you can post the link if for the Cosmic Channel. Hello, Arif Otto. Actually, I just had a video with Arif. I made 2 videos with him, and we had a video where we discussed the difference between American and Indian healthcare system and America law. Sadly, right, we don't have a really good healthcare system compared to the one in India where you have kind of universal care. That's what I wish that we had. So do check out his channel if you like English conversations. He has new conversations. How many times do you post conversations, Arif? Let us know, and do follow his channel. He has awesome conversations with people from all over the world, and it's a great place to see some more conversations. Didn't find any Japanese in WhatsApp. I'm not sure what that means, but Japanese, I can just tell you my daughter loves anime, and the biggest thing for now that's very popular here is called Genshin Impact. If does anybody like that, she's kind of driving me nuts with that. It was Minecraft, and now it's Genshin Impact, which is like a lot of this anime stuff. I cannot are able to speak English very fast. Well, you wouldn't be able to speak it really fast at first. I might be speaking a little bit too fast for people, but again, I'm live, so I'll be a little bit more nervous when I'm live. So, but you really don't speak fast. Speak slow. I don't know if you've ever seen any videos on my channel with my father. He speaks really slow. In fact, sometimes I'm like, okay, can you hurry up? Like, I need to go somewhere, but he's very, very slow. So check out one of the stories that he tells on my channel is how him and his sister tried to steal a boat when they were 6 years old. It's super funny, but he speaks really slow. And he's from Michigan, so he'll have a little bit of a different kind of way of talking than me. But don't try to speak fast. It's fine. I think speaking clearly is more important than speaking faster. That is important. In fact, you know, it's probably a good thing if everyone would just slow down. If you were to watch people from the United States, you'll see people from New York and Boston area, we talk really fast. But if you were going to watch some YouTubers that are from like Georgia or Texas, they're going to speak much slower. But they'll also speak in a different kind of like accent than I'm speaking. I think that, let's see. So as long as you can understand, that is enough. All right. So yeah, I think that's the important thing. As long as people can understand, you know, that is what is important. And it's not important to speak fast. In fact, if you're speaking fast, it's likely that people might not be able to understand you. So it's probably better for you to slow down. It's probably better if I would slow down right now. So if anybody wants me to slow down, I'm going to try to anyway. I try to speak. That's one thing that I'll try to do when I make my videos is try to remember, even if I'm looking at a camera, that on the other side of that camera are people that are learning English. And so I'll try to speak slower. We'd like to see your daughter. Yes, like in the next live stream, I'm going to try to get her to at least make an appearance. Like I said, she's 11 now, but she acts like she's 13. And I'm not so sure how long she'll want to be in the videos with me, but I'll try to see if she'll be in the next. I'll tell her that it was requested for her to come in the video, so we'll see. But right now she's sleeping because she was playing a video game a little bit late. And then after that, after I told her to stop playing the video game, she continued drawing pictures of characters in that video game. So, which are like anime characters. I'm gonna drink a little bit more water. All right, so any case, I was talking about grammar, and I think for me, I tried to study grammar and try to learn all the skills and the grammar rules for Spanish until I was blue in the face, basically, which is an expression, and it didn't work. It didn't help me speak Spanish any better. What helped me speak Spanish and understand Spanish and read Spanish was listening and watching more stuff that I could understand. So if I'm watching something that I don't understand, I just simply stop watching it. And I've just found a lot of things that I enjoy watching in Spanish. So find things that you enjoy. If you like travel, look for travel YouTube channels. If you like video games, look for video games that, you know, in English channels and so on. But try to immerse yourself in the language. Anybody else have any suggestions or what works for them? Does anybody use Duolingo? I was talking about Duolingo earlier. I think it's helpful if you're reviewing. Like I tried to learn, I reviewed Spanish. This is great, but trying to learn another language that I have no experience in was not helpful because I just really couldn't. I really couldn't get past the basic languages. Good morning. Is it Brian? Where are you from, Brian? Let me know. Talking America says, yes, watch and read things in English that you already watched or read in your language. That's a very, very helpful suggestion. Like I will often like watch something or listen to something in English, like news programs, and then listen to news in Spanish because I'm going to understand that stuff. Books that I've read, that's a really good thing to do. If you are at the beginning level, try to look for, you know, what were the children's books that you liked from your childhood, or what are the children's books that you read to your own children that you like to read? Like I have 2 children. Are there some children's books that I did not want my kids to keep on asking me to read? But there's some that I love and I would probably pick it up now and really still enjoy reading them. So those are good ones to look for in English. And so I would suggest looking for stuff like that. Antonio says, when a person speaks to me in English in Spain. Okay, so I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like people that are in Spain that are English speakers, native English speakers. Talking America says, if you play chess, find English chess videos. Okay, that's a good suggestion. Let's see. Praise be to Allah. Good morning. Good afternoon. Hi. Lots of love from Pakistan. Thank you for joining. Brian, I am from Colombia. And do you know any sites for language exchange? Yes, I do. I would say like one that I met Talking America on is Hello Talk. And I think that Antonio might have been from Hello Talk as well. I've met a lot of great, actually made a very good friend, Gustavo from Hello Talk, and Pen Pal World. I met a friend, Kenya, from Mexico, who I practiced with for a couple of years and then went to visit her. I met people from Peru on that Pen Pal World. There are lots of other free ways on the internet. If you just type in language exchange, there's some sites that you can find people. And WhatsApp, there's a lot of people on WhatsApp groups as well. But I think Hello Talk is devoted to language learning. So that was probably one of the best places I found. Brian from Colombia, and then Rocky. Okay, you have an exam next week. Well, exams, that's where the grammar is important. So like I said, while I don't teach grammar, I'm not going to say it's not important. But there's lots of great channels for grammar if you're looking for them. I think I feature one that is called Talking America with this guy. He's an English teacher in the United States. So you might check out his channel for grammar because you'll need that for your test. So yeah, I'm going to talk for 7 more minutes and then I'm going to pretty much lose my voice. So if you have more things that work for you to learn English, let me know in the comments, please. And basically, like I said, thank you so much, everyone. Please hit the like. If you haven't done so, please hit the like on the video. And let me know what things work for you. If grammar works for you, I mean, who loves grammar? Let me know. Oh, this is, I'm not sure if I'm going to say your name right. Triloshan Dal from India. And I'm not sure. I'm really sorry if I butchered your name. So thank you for joining. Antonio, sorry, when a person speaks to me in English in Spain, I'm very ashamed to speak. You know, I understand that. Like I said, I have friends that work with me from Panama and from Ecuador, and I kind of feel the same sometimes. Like I shouldn't feel that way because I know they're not going to laugh at me. I know they're going to be happy that I made the effort to speak in their language. That's, for me, that's why it's been better to find people that I could Zoom with or go on Skype with through HelloTalk, because those were people that are learning English. So I'll find somebody that's learning English and I'm learning Spanish, as opposed to trying to speak with Zolchi, who's my friend from Panama that works, like, she'll speak to me in Spanish and I will speak to her a little bit, but I'm kind of afraid and I know I shouldn't be. And, you know, so there's some people I know, Finglish says, just do it, just speak. And I think learned English in a very short time. But, you know, I think just little by little is kind of putting yourself out there. Like right now I'm going live and I feel nervous to go live and speak to you in my native English. I'm going to make mistakes, and I know that even in English. But is kind of putting yourself into your, and here I am, I can't even speak, like putting yourself outside of your comfort zone. I'm doing that right now. And by the way, if you haven't pressed the like, please do that. But put yourself out of your comfort zone and know that you learn from mistakes. Talking America says that you learn from mistakes. Ralti says, are there any native speakers whom we can make as friends? Do you know? You know, it's hard. Yeah, I do understand it's hard to make friends with native speakers. It takes time. And good morning or good afternoon or evening to English with Lila. I made some videos with English with Lila, and check out his channel for great conversation videos. Yes, it's hard to make friends with people online. It takes time. What I usually do is I start a conversation and go back and forth and determine whether or not there's anything that I have in common with the person, and then take it further. Usually on HelloTalk, I look for somebody to I look for somebody that's taken time to look at my profile and say, oh, I'm really, you know, sounds like we have a lot in common. I really think it's cool that you do this. Then I'm more likely to write to them than if they just say, do you want to practice English and Spanish together? So it does take time. It is difficult, but I would just try to myself, depending on how much time you have. I'm a very busy person. I usually try to work on a couple new conversations at a time and see how they go. And then if that's going well, I continue. Like I just made friends with somebody from Panama, and we seem to have a lot in common. She likes photography. I like photography. So we're having a good conversation. But if it's just a struggle to, you know, get that person to really engage in a conversation, then maybe look for the next person and read their profile. Spend time on HelloTalk reading somebody's profile, and then write into them about what you like in their profile, and you might be able to develop a better language partner. Okay, Rocky says, Win, Despacio song. That's the Spanish song. Despacito song is released. Many people try to hum it. Yes, Despacito. I love that song. Let's see. They translated that song into the local language. So that's a good idea. Like if you know a song, like this song's by ABBA. Who likes ABBA here? Anybody? Let me know. ABBA also sang their songs in Spanish. I didn't know that. But you can listen to their songs. Like, I'm trying to think of one of their songs. My mind is go blank, right? But it's like, yeah, I can't remember. Anybody that can remember an ABBA song, let me know. But any case, all those very famous ABBA songs, they sang them in Spanish. And the same thing, like lots of famous American songs, other people sing them in Spanish or other languages. So if you can look for the songs in your native language that aren't English and listen to both of them, you can probably start to kind of like see some connections in the language and understand it better. Excuse me, let me drink a little more water. All right, so Vinette says, today I've been learning some new words, but I am not able to remain. So you know what? Repetition and being exposed to the language more and more in the words, you won't learn a word just by being exposed to it once. Think about how you learned your language when you were a baby. You learned it by listening to your parents over and over again and watching their lips and seeing their body language. But you didn't just come out and immediately start speaking. You had to listen to those words many times before you could speak them and before you could remember them. So what about error? Don't worry about errors. Like, we learn from our mistakes, so don't worry about that. And 404 error, Rocky, I hate it when my computer says 404 error. That is just really annoying. And English with Lila, how to find new vocabulary related to everyday life. Well, YouTube, there's tons of videos. Like, if you want vocabulary about, okay, we just had a hurricane come through here, right? Have vocabulary about a hurricane. Just look up, like, learn English hurricane. Type it into Google, type it into YouTube. You're going to find some videos that somebody made about the vocabulary about hurricanes. Now, that's probably not super useful, but maybe you want to learn vocabulary about the post office or vocabulary about the supermarket. There's going to be tons of videos on there that you can find just by typing in Google. Google's your friend. When I was starting to learn Spanish, there was no internet really. In fact, there wasn't any internet. I was learning in high school, dating myself before the internet. And I only had not even CDs. There was tapes or records, right? I could borrow them from the library. But now you can just use your phone. You can use the internet. So you can find all this stuff so easy, while before you were lucky if you could find one thing in your library that you could borrow if they even had it. Talking America says, Hello Talk is good for learning everyday vocabulary because people, yes, that's awesome. They do have this whole like moment section, and they'll share things like, so you can definitely learn about everyday vocabulary. You can listen to like recordings. People will kind of put a little text and a recording of their voice. They share stuff about their lives. I do that on Hello Talk. I try to share things a few times a week on Hello Talk, and I make a recording of my voice. So that's a really good place to learn. And then any thoughts about free for talk? I don't know what that is, Brian, but anybody else, I'm not sure if that's a really good website. But let us know if anyone else thinks anything about that, because I've not heard about that. That's new to me. And let's see. So Trollenchen says how to remember new vocabulary. I think it's just being exposed to it over and over again. You know, you can try to do like flashcard things and stuff like that if that works for you. But I think being exposed to it over and over again through reading, through like listening to it, through YouTube videos and stuff, is being exposed to it like many, many times. In fact, like, it's not a matter of like listening to the language for 10 hours or 100 hours. It's like listening to the language that you're trying to learn for thousands of hours. That's what's really going to help you develop an ear for it, and how that you'll be able to remember the words. And you know, another thing too, if you find a language partner that you are learning with, that's gonna cement more into your mind than if you try to look up the word on Google Translate. Many times I will look up something on Google Translate and I'll forget it. But if I practice with my friend Gustavo and he tells me, oh, this is how you say it and what it means, then it's gonna cement more. So Antonio, I'm going to lunch. Thank you so much. Hello, and see you in Hello Talk. And Rocky, thank you. I'm going to sign off now because I've been talking for more than an hour. So any last comments if you want to put them in? Otherwise, if you haven't put the like button, please like the video. And to learn vocabulary, learn sentences. That's a good point, Talking America. Thank you so much. So press that like button. Subscribe, and please subscribe to Talking America, subscribe to Arif Auto, subscribe to English Finglish, subscribe to English with Lila. They have some awesome YouTube channels that they post conversations, they post Talking America, post some really great things that, like, if you want to learn how to talk about somebody's appearance, he has some great videos on that, and much more. And if you want to find some language partners, follow me on Hello Talk. I'm Dreaming English on Hello Talk, and you can communicate with me there. That's a great place. So thank you so much, and let me know in the comments what kind of topics you would like. I'll probably do this again maybe in 2 weeks because we're coming into summer vacation schedules, but I'll probably go live again in 2 weeks. So please let me know what kind of topics that you'd like to talk about, and thank you so much. All right, bye-bye everyone.